Hello, McIntyre's Football Fan TV. This is our League of Ireland show. Plenty of action from the past week. We decided to hold off from our usual Monday night show and obviously wait because there was games on Monday. So I'm joined by Gary. I know your game was cancelled over the weekend, but I got to two games and you were at one last night as well. So there's plenty to talk about. I suppose we'll start off with the Dublin Derby in Tala. I suppose actually all eyes were on that game because Togden and Togdad were over. They're like big YouTube heads in England, and a very popular YouTube channel. I think it's Togden, but his dad does it as well, and he's called Togdad. But I think they do it on the same channel. But anyway, they were over and they were promoting the League of Ireland, which was great to see, and they have a video up on their channel with nearly, if it hasn't surpassed 100k views, I'd say it has now, but it was great to see. I don't know if you got to see the video, but it was all sorts of different things, and he covered a range of different topics that probably we wouldn't be allowed, or we'd probably be cancelled. So yeah, it was good to see. The game was good. Obviously Shamrock Rovers won 1-0, Rory Gaffney with the goal. But for me, Rovers never really looked like they were in any danger. Bowes didn't really create much. So yeah, I suppose your thoughts. You may have watched the game at home because the Treaty game was cancelled. I don't know what you did, but I haven't been really talking to you. So let me know your thoughts.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I didn't actually get to see it. I saw Rory Gaffney's goal, and I'm delighted for Rory. We had him in Limerick for a while as well, and he is. Look, he's someone fans love because he works so hard. And I suppose if you want to have one criticism of him, he just doesn't get enough goals for a striker, but he does everything else so well. And he's such a great player to have in your team. And it's great for him to get the winner in the derby. As you said, I didn't think it was a great game. It was a good win for Rovers, but I think they were far from being at their best. Now, I've said this before, that's a real sign of champions, when you can win when you're not at your best. But in derbies, it can be tough to be at your best anyway. There's so much tension, so much pressure. Every mistake matters and everything. So, a crucial win for Rovers, particularly coming off the back of a couple of bad away defeats. I think it was important for them to win.
Yeah, and you didn't see the video with Togden, did you? Or you probably heard about it?
I didn't see it. I actually don't know them at all. So,
well, basically, it's a young lad in his 20s, and his dad. They go to football games all over the place. They were in England games, and they're quite famous in England. And basically, they were over for the game because they wanted to experience the Dublin Derby. And anyone who might be listening to this, obviously after this show, go and watch their video. It was really good, to be fair, and it's something we would like to do, but we just don't really get. It looked like they have a cameraman following them around, and they were able to do it that way. But it looked class. The footage they got, and then he was doing little bits of vlogs, and he was doing fan interviews and stuff like that. It was just a really cool video. He actually done it quite quick as well. I think it was up by Saturday. He was out having a few Guinness as well, enjoying it with his dad, and they seem to be quite popular. But they were the talk of the town at the game. As far as the game was a bit of a dull affair, Bowes struggled to really create anything of note and really get going, and it was kind of similar against Shells, but we'll talk about that later on. But they just seem to be lacking that presence up top, which they obviously had with Georgie Kelly last year, but they are trying to make up for players who in previous seasons have been a constant for them. The Rob Cornwells, the Keith Buckleys of this world, who when no matter how many players went in or out, they were always remaining constant in the team. And I think they drove the values and the standards in the dressing room. I think James Talbot's trying to do that now, but James Talbot can only do what he can in goals. He can't really, do anything outfield that is going to make the players play better or, as I say, drive the standards up. They were obviously missing promise on Mosher, who was doing a job for them as the central striker. Ryan Cassidy played. He didn't really do that much of note, although he didn't really get they didn't really get anything to him. We probably should touch on that little bit of skill by Stephen Mallon as well, which was an unbelievable bit of skill, but I think people are really kind of going overboard about that. It's not like he scored a match winner or actually done anything in the game. It was a bit of skill, yeah.
It
But
was class. I actually like those things being shown, because I think there's too many detractors from our league, and I know Bow still lost and everything like that, but I thought it was class, and so
if I'm Stephen Mallon though, and the people are going, "Oh, look, I did the skill in the game that I lost," you'd rather they'd be talking about it in the game you won. That's all I mean.
Absolutely, I agree with that, and I think that would have been. I mean, that's what Keith Long, I'm sure, is going to be gutted that they lost the match, and I think Promise is probably a big loss as well for Bows, and I think they're probably. Well, I know they're feeling very aggrieved. We talked last week. Well, I talked to Paul Tierney about the red card up in Ballybuffet, and I mean, I don't know, it's just baffling. And then to miss the Dublin derby over that, so I'm sure it's a sore point for Bows fans.
Yeah, well, Keith Long didn't seem too happy after the game. I didn't get a chance to speak to him, but I did get a chance to speak to Stephen Bradley and Lee Grace, so you can hear that here. Delighted to be joined by Shamrock Rovers manager Stephen Bradley after a 1-0 win over Bohemians. Bragging rights, firstly, you must be delighted with that.
Yeah, delighted for the fans, for the club, because we know how much it means to them. All Dublin derbies, but especially this one. So delighted that we get to send them home happy tonight.
Yeah, in comparison to other Dublin derbies, it was fairly quiet, kind of dull, I suppose. You saw the game out quite well. There's a couple of shouts for penalties, but otherwise there wasn't that much. I think it's totally dominated the game. Other than that, you know.
Yeah, I thought first half we were brilliant. We continued on from St. Pat's last week. Really created some really good football. I find a bit let us down, but first half we were very good, and then second half we just managed the game really well. We limited them to one shot, Twardyk's shot that we blocked, and that was really it. I thought we managed the game really well and deserved to win. We possibly should have added one at the end with Danny or Aaron Green, but I thought we managed the game really well.
Yeah, I suppose it must give you great confidence when it's coming to the 69th minute or wherever it is, and you can turn around and you have players like Dan Mandreo and Richie Towell and Aaron Green, and I'm sure the list goes on there, and Barry Carr, that you can just bring them on and help them close out the game. So I suppose that must be a huge bonus for you.
Yeah, but we've had to work to get to this point, and we know nothing is given to us. We have to work. Every man is going to play their part. We've seen that tonight. The players that came off ran themselves into the ground, they pass on the baton, and the next one goes in, and that's what it's going to be about all season. And if we're to do anything this year, it's going to take every member of the group.
Yeah. How are you finding it? Because the games are coming so quick and fast now again. Do you find you're getting back into the rhythm now? Because you know the kind of games were a bit slow at the start. Yeah. There was a couple of defeats and stuff like that, but now it seems like you're starting to get that momentum going.
Yeah, I felt if you looked at us last week, I said a number of times we were excellent, and we continued that tonight, and it looks like we're getting back to our level, and we know if we keep working hard and keep working for each other, that our level will improve and our quality of play will improve, and the more games we play, we'll only get fitter and stronger. Yeah,
I suppose it's good as well. You have your strikers for in the goals. I was saying, I think it was the last time I seen it was a few weeks back. It always seems to be the midfielders, but I suppose from your point of view, it's good to see our strikers getting the goals as well.
Yeah, but we've always been a team that's shared the goals. We've always been that way. We've never relied on one person. We felt if you do that and they dry up, you're in trouble. So we've always looked for players in the attacking part of the pitch that can add goals to the team, and I think we have that. Tonight it was Rory, but I think on Monday it could be a midfielder. Hopefully it is. But we've always prided ourselves on everyone chipping in and helping. I
suppose at this stage of the season, every game is big, because another defeat or anything like that, it can set you back such a long way. So I suppose how determined are you to keep that run going now?
Oh well, we know the level that this group can play at, and we've shown that over the last few years. And like I said, we're slowly getting there. There's still a lot more to come from us. We'll get sharper and fitter and stronger as we go. But we're definitely getting there, and we know that we can go on runs of what have we done, 30 odd games. We know we can do that, and it's about stay focused, keep working hard, and the quality will come.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for your time. I'll let you be joined by man of the match for Shamrock Rovers, Lee Grace. Lee, fantastic 1-0 win, a clean sheet. You've done your bit there. You must be delighted.
Yeah, look, it's always great to win a Dublin derby. Looks great to win any game, especially after losing the last one. It's good to bounce back and showed a bit of character tonight, I think. And look, as you said, it's a Dublin derby, so there's a bit of extra bite to it. So it's always great to win, and a clean sheet is a bonus.
Yeah, you said there about showing character and stuff like that. There was a moment where I think it was Pico Lopez threw himself at the ball there to stop that from going in. I think that shows the difference. I suppose defensively, how solid you looked. You're throwing your body on the line and absolutely everything to stop it from going in.
Yeah, I think that's what you need. Lads willing to put their bodies on the line, and to be fair, everyone did that tonight. Thought when Barry Cotter came on as well, there was a stage there where the ball broke and he threw his body on the line, great block, and if it wasn't for him it was a goal. So I think you need that hunger to stop the ball going in the net, and definitely us defenders have it, and to be fair, a lot of the lads through the team have it.
And I suppose it's always key, these Dublin derbies, they can kind of set a bit of a standard for the season. It's good for you guys, I suppose, to get the first one out of the way, and obviously the first win, you've got the bragging rights for now, and I suppose with the way fixtures and results have been going recently, it was good to get that one over the line.
Yeah, exactly. As you said, look, we're after having a couple of defeats already, and we don't want any more. And especially big Dublin derbies like that, you don't want to lose. So it was great for the fans. You said bragging rights. I think the fans will use the bragging rights. We won't get carried away. We just know we've another big game Monday, so we'll roll into that. But I thought tonight we showed good football in the first half. We played some nice stuff, and then in the second half we showed we could fight as well. So I thought all around it was brilliant.
Do you enjoy these? The games are going so quick and fast. Do you enjoy that? Like, do you like having the Friday, Monday, boom, boom, boom?
Yeah, I think if you ask any player, they'll probably say yeah, because less training, you're playing matches, that's what you want. But yeah, I think as you're just rolling into games, you're barely even thinking about them. Just then when it settles down, then it's a long week waiting for a game, you're itching for it. So I think if you ask any player, yeah, they'd probably play every Friday, Monday.
Yeah, you're just looking at it like, the last couple of seasons it's kind of been a bit of a slow start, and then the momentum kind of starts building. Do you think the momentum will hopefully start going now in your favour?
Yeah, funnily enough, the last few seasons we do seem to start relatively slow. I wouldn't say slow, but we don't click into gear straight away. But I think it's coming now. I think we're after finding momentum. The lads coming off the bench are driving us on then as well. There's lads emptying the tanks 60-70 minutes, whatever it is. And then we've quality coming off the bench as well. You've seen that tonight again. The boys that come on are full of energy, bit between their teeth. They want to stay in the team, and you need that. You need lads driving each other on, and yeah, hopefully now this is the start of a run. Yeah,
well, I think that, like you said there, with the players coming on, there's some serious quality in the squad, especially in midfield alone. Like, you had Danny Mandrea on the bench, Richie Towell, and a number of others as well who would walk into any other team in the league, and you have them coming on to help close it and finish off games. Aaron Green as well.
Exactly, I said it before the game. Empty the tanks, whatever it is, 60, 70 minutes, 80 minutes, and then we've quality coming off the bench. There's no point saving yourself. Empty the tanks, and the boys coming off the bench are not going to weaken the team at all. But as I said, you need that every week in training. We're driving each other on, and everyone wants to be in the team. And yeah, I think you need that. If you take the foot off the gas, the boy behind you will be in the team before you know it.
Absolutely. Well, look, I'll leave you to it. It's freezing out here, and I'm sure you want to get in and get out of your shorts. Thanks very much, alright.
Thanks.
So there you go. Obviously, Lee Grace delighted with his man of the match performance, and Stephen Bradley delighted with the bragging rights from the Dublin Derby, but still focused on the games ahead. Next up is Shelburne versus Dundalk. Finished 1-1. Pat Hubin with a header from a Keith Ward free kick, and Sean Boyd with a late penalty to equalise for Shells. I think that was the first goal that had been scored at Talca Park this season for Shelburne. And it was a good point, I suppose, for Shelburne, because those are the types of games in which you could easily lose. I know Dundalk are rebuilding and everything like that, but they still have quality in that team. Regardless, as I said, Keith Ward, he's been around the league and has shown numerous times the amount of quality he has. Pat Hubin's still probably the best striker in the league, in my opinion. They've got Robbie Benson and they've got other players like that. I mean, I don't want to go into their whole team, but I think this is a massive point for Shelburne to say, right, well, we're not going to lie down against these bigger teams, and we're actually going to put it up till the dying moments. My biggest fear about Shelburne, and I didn't see this game and Paul Tierney was at it, is my biggest fear is just the lack of goals up front. And I know Sean Boyd has got 2 in his last 2 now, but even still, just everything looks nice up to a point, and then when it gets up to the striker, there's just that little lack of quality. Dan Carr, for me, I wouldn't be the biggest fan. I don't think he's great. I think Shells could have went out and got a better striker than him. I like Boyd. He must be struggling with fitness or something that the reason why he's not starting, because he done all right at Finn Harps. Obviously, he came back from a long layoff last year with Finn Harps and then started scoring some goals and some important goals. And obviously, we know his quality was highly rated at Shamrock Rovers as well. But Dan Carr, for me, I just don't think he's good enough. And whether that's the service up to him, because the wide players for Shells get up in numbers. But I just think when the ball gets up there, I just think Dan Carr's a bit lazy getting around the pitch. And when he gets on the ball, he starts dilly-dallying on the ball. And for me, he's just very, very, very frustrating as a Shells fan. I'm sure he's a lovely lad and everything like that, but just a very frustrating player. I wish he just learned to pass the ball and move and get in the box and try and get on the end of it instead of trying all these silly skills. He used to do it at Shamrock Rovers as well when I used to be at their games, and he used to do it with them as well, and he rarely scored for them either. But obviously there's a good player in there, but he just doesn't do it enough for me. But Dundalk will probably feel like it's points dropped. Chels will feel like it's definitely a point gained.
Yeah, I think it definitely, even though Shells were at home, I think it's a better point for Shelburne than it is for Dundalk, particularly as Shells came from behind. And it was a bit of a game. I followed some of it, and I spoke to a friend of mine who was there. Probably he's a Dundalk fan. He said it was a fair result. But when Pat Hooban got that goal with 20 minutes to go, you think, yeah, you're going to get out of there with the 3 points without playing particularly well. But Shells kept going. They kept battling away, and they deserved the point. And I did say it to Paul Tierney last week as well. I don't think Shells will get dragged into the relegation zone. Appreciate your concerns, and I don't think they'll probably finish much higher. I think they're fourth from bottom at the moment, and they may not finish any higher than that. But I think they just have enough quality, and they'll just do enough to stay ahead of the three below them.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? But I don't want to get too excited or too ahead of myself and say, oh yeah, because sure it happened a few years ago when Aaron Howie still brings up that tweet of the relegated club. So I don't want to get too ahead of myself just in case that happens again. So look, for Damien Duff, more importantly, people are starting to kind of get over the hysteria of Damien Duff being in the league, and they're just kind of getting on with it now, where it's like, oh look, Shelburne or Shelburne, not Damien Duff FC. And I actually like the way Shells have been playing. I know, look, as I said, when we get the ball up to the striker, it's not ideal, but the play and the shape, and when we're not in possession of the ball, I just feel as though we look not like we know what we're doing. We have a good shape to us. We're hard to break down, and then when we get on the counter, we look really good. Like when players like Jack Moran get on the ball, he scares opposition. I know he hasn't been playing the last recent games, but Conor Kane has been a brilliant signing since he came in. He's brilliant down the left hand side, and he runs up and down all day long. Cam Ledwidge came in as well. He's been playing in the back three. He's done really well as well. He's more of a left back. Luke Burns has been brilliant. So, and even the keeper, I think still a lot of people giving the keeper a lot of stick. Webb, but I think he's just a young lad coming in and just trying to get used to things, and I think he's loving the fact that the games are coming so thick and fast, being not from the league, and he's keeping Brandon Clark out of the side as well, which is interesting because you would have thought that Brandon Clark would still be in there, considering how vital he is in terms of a goalkeeper. But maybe Webb is better in terms of what Duff wants, distribution and this and that. But I always thought Brandon Clark was really good anyway. But I'm looking around, Shells have a good core there now, and it'll be vital to add some players in the summer, preferably a striker. But Sean Boyd did the business from the penalty spot, and hopefully he can stay injury free and keep going. But Paul Tierney spoke to A. Dervin after the game, and you can hear what he had to say here.
Paul Tierney here with Irish Football Fan TV, joined by A. Dervin after Shells 1-1 draw at Dundalk. A, must be happy with that.
Yeah, Paul, look, we went 1-0 down, and then I thought the way we reacted was brilliant. We applied all the pressure, and we got back into the game, and we pushed for the winner, but it didn't come. But considering going 1-0 down, it's great. It's great character shown by us.
Yeah, and do you think you should probably got the 3 points? I mean, looking at it, I probably thought you were the better side. Looking at it myself, they had most of the ball, but they didn't really have any chances, to be honest.
Yeah,
just the goal.
Yeah, look, they never looked like we never felt threatened by them or anything like that. Their shape was brilliant. They won a header off a set piece, and we have to improve on that. But I thought we were the better team too. And they had the ball, but I don't think they were really doing anything with the ball. And I thought our shape was effective, and I thought when we had the ball we looked dangerous as well.
Yeah, and speaking about yourself, you just moved down from Longford. How are you finding it so far, five games in?
Yeah, great. Yeah, I'm loving it. It's a full-time setup. I'm not used to it, but it's something that I wanted to do. I think it's benefited me. I think it can be better as well. So I think more games and being in the environment more, it'll help me.
Yeah, and how are you finding it under Damien's his first job as well?
Yeah, very good look. It's the man. Like he's an aura about him, but he's a normal man as well, and he's very supportive of us, and he wants us to do well, and he'll let you know when you're not doing it right, but he'd do anything for you as well, which is a really good thing to have.
Yeah, and finally you have Bows next on Monday and then Finn Harps next Friday. Looking forward to those two?
Yeah, they're two big games now. I think the results went our way tonight, but
yeah,
we got the point tonight and now we're on to Bows, and we can't take them lightly. We need to have a go at them, and we need to bring in the same approach and hopefully get 3 points.
Yeah.
Okay, so there you go, Paul speaking with Shelburne midfielder A. Dervin at Tolka Park after the game. I suppose we're moving on then. Finn Harps 0, St. Pat's 2 from Ballybuffet, Finn Park. Jack Scott with a goal in the 65th minute and Owen Doyle with a goal in the 78th minute, effectively the winner. Pats, they're starting to get a bit of a rhythm going, aren't they?
They are, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, they're currently, well, I know we'll come on and talk about Monday night, but they're currently top of the table. And I mean, it's Ballybuffet is a tough place to go, and it's a tough place to go and win. But I think if you are going to challenge for Europe, if you're going to challenge for a title, you do have to go up there and win. Now, it wasn't easy for Pats, but I think it says a lot about them that they did go up and win that match. Bows having gone the week before and not won is kind of maybe a bit of a yardstick. And you never do have it easy up there. So maybe Pats are in a little bit of a false position because 3 of their wins have been against the bottom 4, but I'm sure their fans are going to scream and say, yeah, the other one was against the champions. So time will tell. But they are sitting top of the table. They also have 2 defeats. So I don't know. I mean, I was actually talking before the start of the season. I thought they could mount a title challenge. And now I'm saying here they're top of the table, and I'm not so sure because they've lost 2 games as well. I think time will tell. But they are, like a lot of teams, knitting a side together, getting players together, finding a way to play. So it was certainly to go to Ballybuffet and win 2-0 was very impressive.
Yeah, I think I don't. It doesn't surprise me they're going up there with the players that they have, like the likes of Owen Doyle, and getting the results that they're getting. They still have a very strong side. I know they're missing Lee Desmond, but and a couple of players went to Dundalk, but overall they've signed well, and I think Tim Clancy's signed well as well. I think he was a really good addition as well. Early on, things might not have went to plan, but I think as time goes on, they'll get better as the season goes on. And Pats relatively generally do, as seasons gone by have shown. So I don't think they'll win the league, but I think that they'll be kind of persistent. A bit, maybe a bit like Sligo, they'll be a bit persistent, but they won't go all the way. That's my feelings on it. So a good win, but a standard win. Finn Harps, you might feel like they're in a bit of danger now. You know, I know last year was a really good season for them in terms of getting results, and they never really looked like they were in any danger of being relegated. But this season, it could be totally different between themselves, UCD, and possibly Drogheda. And I'd probably put Shells in that bracket too, just at the moment, because there's still not that many games played, but still a couple of defeats for any of those teams, and before you know it, they're getting sucked in. And it becomes harder and harder to get away from that relegation zone. So I think Finn Harps, but look, Ollie's worked wonders and he's done it before, so I wouldn't rule it out if they do finish in a playoff position. And we'll probably say this a lot throughout the season, that they'll probably still stay up through that if that is the route that they end up going ultimately. But again, I think it'll be between themselves and Drogheda. But Shells, I wouldn't be too confident with just yet.
Yeah, I think Shells would be okay. I definitely would have Drogheda in that mix. I think it's going to be between the 3 of them. And please don't mention Finn Harps in playoffs anymore. It's brings back very, very bad memories. But yeah, I would never back against Finn Harps in a playoff. But the games. I think the games between UCD, Drogheda, and Finn Harps will be absolutely crucial, and any points they can pick up along the way will help. Maybe I'd give Harps in particular a slight advantage because certainly Ballybuffet is probably the least welcoming. Sorry, they're very hospitable people up in Donegal, but once you're out on the pitch, it's a very tough place to play. It's a tough place to get results, and Finn Harps will pick up a lot of points at home because they're really very difficult to beat up there on that pitch, and it's not easy to go to Drogheda either. Whereas when you go to the UCD Bowl, it's perfect surface. It's probably not as intimidating because often the away team has as many fans as the home team. So I think that may come back to hurt UCD, but then UCD play some lovely football and are great to watch. But it's we're probably going to come back to this a lot of times during the season because it's going to be, I think between the three of them, I think Shelburne will be just enough ahead of them, but maybe not. But I think Damien Duff will do okay. He seems to really know what players he wants because you mentioned the players that came in, but also it's significant the ones that he let go out. So I think Shells will be improving over the season, whereas I'm not so sure that UCD, Drogheda and Finn Harps can find a level up from where they are now.
Yeah, I think it's a fair comment. I suppose we'll move on to Drogheda. They lost 3-0 to Sligo. Lewis Banks with a goal in the 7th minute, Jordan Hamilton with a goal in the 20th minute, and William Fitzgerald with ultimately the winning goal in the 34th minute. Just so we kind of jump straight to UCD and Derry was postponed, but Sligo 3, Drogheda 0. Doesn't surprise me. It probably would have surprised me last year under Tim Clancy, but I just feel like Drogheda this year, they're a different animal and they're clearly not as strong. And I think losing players like James Brown and Mark Doyle and these types of players, you're kind of taking the heart from a team that was already not amazing, but they were good with what they did. You know, they lost Phillips as well, so they lost a good core and their manager all in one go. And you rip the heart out of something, it's generally going to struggle, and I think that's what's happened. But Sligo, on the other hand, they're flying, and Liam Buckley will be delighted with a 3-0 win away from home.
Yeah, Sligo for me have been, and it might sound strange me saying this, but for me they've been the surprise packet of the season, even though they finished third last season. I thought they would really struggle to match that this season, but if anything, they look like they can well surpass it. They have been excellent. And I mean, that became a routine win. And Drogheda is a tough place to go. You're right. I mean, they have lost Tim Clancy. They have lost some key players. But I mean, they were comfortable mid-table side last season. And they're not going to be that this season. They might still have enough to stay up. I was impressed with the fact that they'd beaten UCD a week ago. And as I said, these games can all be crucial and vital. The opening night, Finn Harps Drogheda was actually called off. So we might have known a bit more of that game being played. But, I mean, Sligo were certainly very impressive. They blew them away. It was over after half an hour, as you said. And a fine shout-out to Will Fitzgerald. Delighted to see him get on the score sheet. He's been very unfortunate with injuries. And he's a real talent if he can stay fit. And he's a real addition to that Sligo Rovers side. And, look, it's great to see, and it's great to see them in the Women's National League as well. They had nearly 1,000 people at their opening home game on Saturday. So, look, things are looking great down there. It's a real, as I said many times, it's a real football town, and they look like they can really mount a title challenge this season. And a significant thing, they are actually unbeaten. Now, I know that you can say they're a point behind Pats, and then they do have a game in hand as well. But the fact that they're unbeaten, I think, does say a lot. If you're going to mount a title challenge, I don't think you can lose too many games. And it's been a fantastic start for Sligo.
Yeah, I would agree. And I'm sure they'll be looking to continue that. They obviously got a win against Finn Harps as well, which is Another win on the board, isn't it? I suppose we'll just move on to the first division from Friday night, and then we'll fly through that, and then we'll get into the Monday night football from last night. All right. So Cork beat Cove Ramblers 2-0. Cork is green, as Aaron Howie would say. Ali Gilchrist with the first goal in the 14th minute. Cian Murphy with the second goal in the 62nd minute. So they're flying at the moment. Cork are. Waterford 2, Wexford 1. Coutinho Jr. Armando with the goal in the 7th minute. Connor Crowley then equalised. Then Phoenix Patterson got the winner in the 34th minute there. Bray Wanderers lost 3-1 to Galway. David Hurley, Stephen Walsh put them 2-0 up. Hugh Douglas then scored in the 69th minute. And then at the end, in the 90th minute, Shane Doherty scored to seal a victory for John Caulfield's side. And then obviously the game that you would have been attending, Treaty versus Longford, was postponed. I suppose Cork and Waterford and Galway all winning standard at this stage, I think. And I think those three will be the favourites for promotion. So no real surprises there, is there?
No, and I mean, they are, we talked about this at the start of the season, they are the three full-time teams in the division. And they have by far the biggest budgets, and you would expect them to be the top three. Now, having said that, Wexford was actually first against second. Wexford had pulled off 2 incredible wins before that, but
don't tell the travelling pundits that then.
So no, they've we beat them 5-1 on opening night. They bounced back with an incredible win in Cove, and then beat Athlone as well. So Dan McDonald's tip that they might make the playoffs might not sound so strange now after those, but But Cork, the other big story about Cork actually is the attendances. They're getting fantastic crowds. There was over 4,000 there for the Cove match. And I'm sure they went home happy on Friday night. And it's been a bit of a mixed bag for Cork, even though they've had a fantastic start, obviously, scoring those 6 goals in Bray. But bad defeat at home by Waterford. And then I don't think they would have been happy with just a point in Longford. So it was important for them to bounce back and beat Cove. Cove was probably always a little bit tougher for Cork, being the Derby match and everything like that. But great to see that crowd in Turner's Cross. And look, the Cork City supporters are incredible to get that kind of a crowd in the first division. And fantastic to see, and hats off to them.
Yeah, and Waterford, I know, look, we're going to come to the fact that they played Cork as well last night. I think Waterford are going to be thereabouts regardless of that result. I still think they're going to be thereabouts. Ian Morris knows the league quite well, the first division that is, and I think that they'll be up there right to the end of the season. So, excuse me, I don't think that they need to worry about anything. We'll move on swiftly to the Monday night football. We'll fly through the results. I suppose we won't go into too much detail to the results because we'll be here all day. So we'll just kind of we'll talk about the results, and then we'll kind of take the pick the bones of it. So I suppose Dundalk 0, Shamrock Rovers 0, a stalemate at Oriel Park. But I don't know if you saw the highlights. I did. Pat Hooban probably could have won it at the death with a chance. The ball came across to him in the box, and normally 9 times out of 10 or 99 times out of 100 he buries that, but it seemed to bobble a little bit just before he hit it, and he smashed it over. And he had one that was saved by Leon Pauls, who was in goals instead of Alamanis. Don't know where that was. I think Alamanis was sick, but anyway, he made a good save from Hooban. I think it was from a corner. And Rovers, unfortunately for them, just when they kind of bounced back, they took 2 steps forwards and maybe 1 step backwards. With this point, or whatever way you want to look at it, it could have been a point gained. I'm not too sure, but from Shamrock Rovers' point of view, they have the expectancy, being defending champions, that they should be going out and winning every game, and that would be the expectancy on them because, as I said, the champions.
Yeah, no, don't think it's that bad a point for Rovers. I know,
but it's not the Dundalk of the last couple of seasons.
It's not. They're still unbeaten as well, and they are. Dundalk would be tough to beat, and they are going to be there or thereabouts for the European spots. So I don't think you can expect to go to Oriel Park and win. What I understand is Dundalk shaded the first half. Rovers were actually very good for a lot of the second half and pushed Dundalk right back, and probably just didn't get the goal. And then, as you said, that I think everyone's going to talk about that Pat Hooban chance. I'll put it to you this way: if anyone else had missed it, they'd have said it's a pity it didn't fall to Pat Hooban, because
That's true.
you normally there was a bit of a bobble, but you would expect him to finish it. And in the last minute, chance like that wins the game. Now that would have been a fantastic win for Dundalk, but I think it was a decent point for Rovers. They're not the Shamrock Rovers yet of the last couple of seasons, but they have incredible talent there, and they probably will get it right. The thing I'm delighted about is it does look like we're going to have a title race, because we haven't really had one for the last couple of years. I don't think, even if
Like
there was
Cork
times-
and Dundalk, really, wasn't it? It's the last one, proper one.
Yeah, because Rovers haven't really been that stressed in the last 2 years. They've comfortably won the two leagues. They have been by far the
And
better
then
side.
Dundalk before that were comfortably winning it year in, year out, and then Cork had that little spell. Yeah, I suppose I don't want to harp into the games all that too much, but I suppose look, Bows won, Shells won. I was at this game. First half was brutal to watch. There was nothing going on. Really, it was just like two sides just trying to figure each other out and trying to break each other down, and not really doing it that well. There was moments where Shells were quite good and organised, but again, every time the ball went up to Dan Carr, they might as well not have had a striker up there at that point in time. He just looks so unfit, and it's probably going to seem like I'm picking on him, but I watch him and I've never. And in the second half, then he starts running. Like in the first half, he looked like he was incapable of running, and in the second half, he starts taking off and chasing people. And I'm like, that's the type of player we want to see. So hopefully he can start, as he gets fitter, he can start running around a bit more and look a bit more lively. But Bows probably looked more likely to score the first half, if I'm honest, but they didn't. In the second half, then there's the moments that kind of stand out to me. There was a free kick by Shane Farrell that was saved really well by James Talbot, and then J.R. Wilson had a strike, which from the resulting free kick, it came out to him quite far out, and he just took a strike far out, and Talbot saved that as well. That was two really good saves he made. Bows, don't remember them having that much to shout about. And then Sean Boyd comes off the bench literally about 30 seconds after he came off the bench, and Shane Farrell does really well after a kick out from Webb, and Shane Farrell gets on the end of a cutscene, and Sean Boyd scores with his first touch, does the Damien Duff bow in front of the Bows fans, like Damien Duff did against Saudi Arabia all those years ago in that famous result against Saudi Arabia in the World Cup 2002. But at that stage, Shells were cruising, and in the aftermath of all that, Rory Feely actually got sent off, which nobody actually knew about, not even the players, and no one in the media box knew. But someone, I think Siobhan Madigan or someone shared it out behind us. It's like, oh, Rory Feely got either a second yellow or a straight red. I'm not sure, still don't know at this moment in time, but he got sent off. So Bows were down to 10 men, and it did look like Shells were cruising. And Jordan McAniff came off the bench for Shells, and apparently he was telling the players that they were a man down, but Bows got back into it. It wasn't pretty, but they got back into it. Corner came in, it dropped to Horton inside the box, and he just smashed it home. And then there was a bit of a ruckus in the goal, but it was all right after that. But the tackles were flying in. It was a real derby feel last night. The Shells fans were in great voice. So were the Bows fans. Probably a bit silly to be throwing the flares on the pitch, just purely down to financial reasons for the club. I didn't think that was the wisest decision, but it is. I know it looks. I think it looks brilliant. I think the flares and everything, I think that adds to the atmosphere and stuff like that. But when the people are saying not to do it to stop your club getting fined, I think you're being kind of selfish there. So hopefully it's just cut out from now on if it's going to cost the club a lot of money. And I'm sure the club will be saying that as well. But look, it was good to have the Dublin derby of Shells and Bows back, and the first one of this season. So I spoke with Sean Boyd, and you can hear what he had to say here. We are joined by goal scorer Sean Boyd after Shells 1-1 draw here at Dailymount against Bohemians. Sean, have you ever scored with your first touch in a game before, or is this your first time?
No, I think that's my first time, yeah. A funny one, yeah. It's a bit of a mad feeling, you come on so quickly just after scoring, first touch. I don't know, it's a bit of a mad feeling. Yeah, it's something you never really. I don't know if a lot of people get the experience. I think Aaron McConnell, Jordan's brother, had something similar. I just got a text off him there. He said, "Well done, copying me." He did, last night, I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, it was.
I think
same
he
here
had
in the
two
game.
touches now, but I've done it in the one. So now it was a nice feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose when you came off the bench, did you feel like the game was there for the taking? Because the lads dug deep, like it was a really good performance. I suppose looking at it when you got the goal, how are you feeling at the stage coming on?
Yeah, no, I thought the lads were brilliant. I really did. I thought they grew into the game and got stronger and stronger. And it's like a testament to how fit they are, I suppose. You know, coming off the back of a game on Friday was a very tough game. You know, I don't know. I thought there was going to be a chance there. I didn't think it was going to come that soon, but that's the way the football goes, and you know, it was there to take it. It's just disappointing, I think, the way we've after conceding, you know, another set piece. So we're going to have to have a look and see what we can do, and hopefully go again now Friday.
Yeah, but I suppose you're glowing with confidence at the moment. Just, you know, obviously scoring the other night, the penalty, and then with your first touch. Things are going well for you at the moment so far.
Yeah,
enjoying it.
I am. I'm loving it. I'm loving it, to be honest, and I love everything about it. The staff, the club, the players, the team we have in there, the group of boys in there are great people. So I'm really enjoying it. You know, it's the best I've felt in a long time, I suppose. So long may it continue.
Yeah, the games are coming thick and fast now, but I suppose looking at it, not too many defeats. There's a lot of draws, but like a lot of people were expecting a lot of defeats coming in. But types of points is certainly coming together now.
Yeah, you know, we've probably been a bit unlucky, I suppose. You know, we've Dundalk on Friday. Again, 1-1. You know, it's probably there's not much in the game. They've scored off a set piece. I don't know. It's a bit. I don't know. Maybe luck, or maybe we need to be better. But we haven't, like you said, we haven't lost a lot of games. Probably 2, is it? Derry and Pat's the first game of the season. So we just need to turn the draws into wins and try hopefully climb up the table and see where it leaves us.
Yeah, I think it's you know, we've got Finn Harps coming up now, your old team from last season. That's going to be a tough one. They lost tonight, but they'll be looking to bounce back, I think, now on Friday night.
Yeah, of course they will. Yeah, of course they will. You know, that's what they're all about up there. You know, I know how Ollie operates. I know how some of the boys up there, I know them from last year. I know how they are. They're not going to be rolling over. You know, they're going to be right at it. So it's going to be a very tough game, and we need to be ready.
Yeah, I think just looking at the team tonight, all the players look very fit, and I know Damien's brought the lads back quite early in pre-season and stuff like that. But I think starting to see the benefits of it now. Whereas, you know, the games are coming Friday, Monday, and before you know it, the lads will all be flying. I feel anyway.
And now, of course, yeah. Listen, the pre-season was tough. It was enjoyable, but it was very tough. We've done a lot of hard work, done the hard yards. But then, like, you know, you built up your fitness. It's about recovering. You know, Friday we had to be good and get good sleep and, you know, be ready for tonight. And that's, you know, you seen there the lads looked like they could go all night. It's just, you know, it's obviously still disappointing. You know, we're all good in there, but the fitness is there. It's again, then it goes on to the boys. When it goes Friday, Monday, it goes on to the lads, and it's up to them then. So I thought we done all right. I thought we looked strong tonight. So, you know, we need to go again. Get ready for Friday, that's it.
Yeah, I know I said there that, you know, Finn Harps want to bounce back, but I suppose in many ways Shell as well, because that probably felt like towards the end a couple of points dropped, whereas maybe before the game you would have taken a 1-1 draw, you know.
Yeah, but then, you know, the way the game goes, you and like we probably didn't. They had a man sent off. No one even up in the stand. You know? It's a bit mad, like. And then when Jordan was coming on, that was the show. Jordan said they have a man sent off. I was like, hadn't a clue. So it's just the way the game went, and you know, we were 1-0 up. We were comfortable. They didn't have a shot. I don't think. You know, maybe a couple of long shots, but maybe I don't think had a save to make. Just to concede off a set piece, and you know, to only take 1 point is a bit disappointing. But like, you come to Dalymount, it's a tough game. So, you know, if you're looking at the fixture yesterday, you're probably saying 1-1, maybe you take it, but I don't know, just the way the game went, it's probably a bit disappointing. Not everything there is good, so we'll see.
I suppose that's the benefit of having the games coming up then so quick then, and like on Friday you have a chance then to rectify and try and get a win if you can.
Yeah, but that's a good thing, isn't it? I was talking to one of the boys, Webby, the keeper there. He said it's great that the games come so fast because he's obviously not experienced the league, but it gets your mind, you know. You don't have any time to sit in it, you don't have any time to relax, I suppose. You just have to gear again and go for Friday and then see where that leaves us. You know, it's all action, but it's great.
Absolutely. Well, listen, best luck Friday. Thanks very much for your
Thanks
time,
a
man.
million.
So there's Sean Boyd. Obviously delighted, 2 goals in 2 games, and obviously last night's goal was his first touch of the game. So he's obviously quite high on confidence, loving life under Damien Duff. So long may that continue, as he says. We're going to fly through the rest of the results. St. Pat's 2, UCD nil. Owen Doyle and Mark Doyle keep Pat's run going. They're now top of the table following that result, which is a great result for them. But against Standard, I couldn't foresee UCD causing them too many problems, despite having players like Colin Whelan and Liam Kerrigan in their squad. But I think Pats are just very, very strong. Sligo 3-1. Aidan Keane a hat-trick, and Luke Rudden with a late consolation for Finn Harps. I believe he got Player of the Month as well, Aidan Keane, today for Sligo. So he's flying back from Scotland. And then Derry 2, draw it. I suppose we'll touch on Derry because obviously their game was postponed. We haven't had a chance to speak about them yet. And McGonigle looks like a really, really good player. And he's smashing goals in left, right and centre. And Derry look like they're ready to mount a title challenge, in my opinion. And you could say that probably about Sligo and Pats, as you already did. But we didn't touch on Derry. So I think it's only fair to touch on them now.
Well, they definitely look like they're going to mount a title challenge. Jimmy McGonigle, I talked about him, and he got the winner against Shamrock Rovers. And he is a class striker. He's a great finisher. And you were talking about Shells needing a striker. Obviously, you've no chance of getting him. But that Dungiven man is some player. And he's a finisher. And look, we all know about Derry. Philip O'Doherty sold his company. He's now a billionaire. He's a massive Derry City fan. And he has put money in to invest in the future of the club. They've also signed well, bringing back the likes of Patrick McElhenney, Michael Duffy, local lads as well. And look, there's been a fantastic buzz around the city. I saw photographs of the queues for season tickets, and it looked like it would have taken you hours. It's brilliant to see. Not us expecting people to queue for 2 or 3 hours. That's not brilliant, but from the club perspective, it's absolutely fantastic. There's a real buzz up there. Every game looks like it's going to be sold out, and they are definitely in the title race. And I suppose you could say a pretty much routine win. They'll probably be disappointed they didn't get to play UCD on Friday night, because you would have expected them to go to Belfield and win. But Derry are still unbeaten as well. So I was a bit worried at the start of the season Rovers wouldn't have a challenger, and now I think they could potentially, as you say, have 2 or 3. So it's great to see.
Yeah, look, it's good for the league. It keeps things exciting, and I like to have a select few players at different clubs. The likes of, as you said, the Dundalk boys that have gone to Derry, and then you've got Rovers with their class players that they have. You've got Sligo and you've got Pats. So every team has 4 or 5 really good players. So it's a bit of a mix, mixing it about like. So yeah, I think it bodes for a good season ahead. I think anyway. The race for Europe would be interesting as well. But I suppose we'll move on down to the first division to finish off. And I'm going to just go through the results again. So Cork City 2, Waterford 0. Rory Keaton in the 15th minute, Cian Murphy in the 18th minute, and they obviously keep things ticking nicely for Colin Healy's men. Galway 2, Treaty United 1, and that was the game you were at, Wilson Warraru. I hope I said that right. In the 4th minute, Stephen Walsh in the 44th minute, and Enda Curran with a consolation goal in the 69th minute for Treaty, which I'm sure you were disappointed about, and we'll come back to you on that in a sec. Then Longford 1, Bray Wanderers 2. Sam Verdon in the 8th minute to give the home side the lead, but Curtis Byrne in the 21st minute scored, and Paul Fox with the winner in the 38th minute for Pat Devlin's side. Then a really good game, Athlone 2, Cove Ramblers 3, and I hope we got this name right. Binoan O'Brien Whitmarsh with a goal in the 14th minute. Thomas Alua equalised in the 45th minute. Then Carlton Ubazenu scored in the 82nd minute to give Athlone the lead. And then Danny O'Connell equalised for Athlone. No, so for Cove, yeah. It's so confusing. Danny O'Connell equalised for Cove in the 89th minute. And then Whitmarsh, I'm just going to call him Whitmarsh, with the winner then in the 90th minute. So drama there in Athlone, but it sounds like a great game. So there's I suppose in terms of the results, nothing really is a shock there. Maybe you might disagree with that with the Galway result, but otherwise, well, actually the Cork game that could have went either way. But there's Aaron Howie again, another shout out. Munster is green, so Cork was green on Friday, and Munster is green on Monday.
Yeah, well, hopefully we'll get to Lord Cork colours on Friday in the Markets Field. But I was a bit surprised Cork beat Waterford, actually, because Waterford, to me, had made a really impressive start. And I remember sitting down in St. Coleman's Park and hearing Waterford were 2-up in Galway and thinking, wow, they're going to walk this league. Now, since then, Galway came back a really impressive second half to grab a 2-2 draw. And Waterford did beat Wexford, but they came a cropper in on Monday last night. Galway and Treaty, yeah. Look, I'm a bit disappointed. Treaty could have taken a point. The winning goal from Stephen Walsh was very controversial. It did look like a foul on Joe Gorman, but having said that, Galway had plenty of other chances, and they've probably made the most impressive start of any of the teams in the division, because they didn't get to play first time out because of this 9 teams. So they've actually got a game in hand on Cork, even though Cork are top. And Galway will be worth watching. They're the only unbeaten team in the division. And just a word about Stephen Walsh as well. I mean, he's normally a defender. Now, I didn't realise this. He actually, as a young player at start, had been a striker. But they converted him, John Caulfield's converted him from a centre half. He came off the bench in the last couple of games and grabbed a goal. And they started him on last night. And he ended up getting the winner, and also had won that Charlie Fleming. I don't know how he cleared it off the line to deny him a second. He looks like he's a natural striker, and he's banging the goals in. Galway last season, the reason they didn't challenge Shells was because they didn't start very well. In many ways, they probably finished the season better than Shelburne. But certainly that's not the problem this season. They've started really well. But it's still tough to call. I think the top 3 are going to be Cork, Waterford and Galway. I'd bite your hand off for 4th place for Treaty, or a playoff place. I'd be very happy with that. But I think the 3, particularly with the extra matches, there's 32 games this season. There's a lot of midweek games, and that's going to take its toll on the first division, particularly on those with amateur and part-time players. So I think that the budgets, the squads that Galway, Cork and Waterford have will definitely tell this season. Cork seriously underachieved last season. They're obviously going to be a lot better, as that 6 goals in Bray and that win over Waterford says. So it's going to be some season, because there's only one automatic promotion place, and then even if one of the others comes through in the playoff, they have to beat a Premier Division team, which will be tough.
Yeah, well, I suppose when you look at it, like Cork, Galway and Waterford are all sitting with 10 points, Galway with a game in hand. Then you look at the other sides there. I mean, Treaty United, 2 games in hand on the top team there, and they're only 4 points off. Longford have 2 games in hand as well. 3 games in hand as well. So there's a lot of games still to be played, despite I think just through postponements and storms and everything else that'll get sorted out over the course of the season. But yeah, you spoke with some people at Galway last night. Do you want to let us know who they were?
Yeah, so I spoke with Wilson Waweru, who got the opening goal for Galway, and I spoke with John Caulfield, and he was obviously delighted with the result.
With Galway United striker Wilson Waweru. Wilson, you came back into the side, you were out with suspension, and you got your first goal of the season early on in the game. Talk to me about that goal.
Yeah, no, it's good to be back now from suspension. Like I say, it was harsh in the last game when I got suspended, but it's good to be back. Like, it's good to get my first goal as well. I'm delighted, and we have another game this Friday, so we move on.
Yeah, and you had a new striking partner, well, from the start anyway, with Stephen Walsh. How is that working out? You both scored.
Yeah, we both scored, but like there still need to be time to get used to each other playing up top. We just need a few training sessions to get together, and we'll just see how the season goes with 2 of us up top.
Okay, and You're the only unbeaten team now in the first division, and you're gone joint top, which has got to be great for you because you missed out on the first week. You were idle, so it's great. You were playing catch up, but now you've already caught up with everybody else.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of games throughout the season, and we just gotta keep going, keep training, keep winning games, game after next, and just see how it go.
Yeah, and you say there's a lot of games. Away to Athlone on Friday night. It's a place you struggled last season when you need special preparation for the plastic pitch.
No. We train sometimes on the Astro, so we're well used to it. So knowing on Friday there's going to be an Astro turf, we'll get the job done anyways. Try to get the result, and we'll see how it goes.
Okay, and do you think you've really focused now on getting promotion and winning this division? Is that the target this season?
That's the big target for us this season, yeah, but you have to see, it's a long season ahead, there's a lot of games, so just keep pushing and we'll see how it goes.
That's great, thanks. United manager John Caulfield, after that battling 2-1 win over Treaty United. John, you've got to be delighted with that performance and result.
Yeah, very happy, Gary. We had a game Friday night away in Bray. You're coming back at 2 in the morning, trying to go in Saturday morning. It does take time for the lads to get their energy levels back, but really honest bunch we have here this year, and they're working hard, and we knew Treaty would throw it at us. We started well in the first half, certainly thought we were in control of the game, gave away a soft goal, and you expect, to be fair to Treaty, they're very good at set pieces, very good with the long throw, and they put us under a lot of pressure in the last 20 minutes. But our guys are honest, to dig in and defend really well, and we had a few opportunities to get the third goal, but we didn't. And we don't put the game away. It always goes to the final kick, and we're very happy to win the game.
But you didn't get the third goal, but you did defend very well, particularly when I think it was the kitchen sink was nearly thrown at you for the last few minutes.
Yeah, and you expect that. You know, there's a myth out there, Treaty are a new team, and that they're only starting. Treaty are a really experienced team. Tommy Barrett's around the league a long time. Serious players, strong part-time players. We've had a number of them, Mark Blood and Joe Gorman, Stephen Christopher, in the core, really fantastic players. So, there's a myth out there that, Treaty new team, this is a serious team, made the playoffs last year and are well on course to make the playoffs this year, and will win most of their matches. So we know how difficult the game was going to be, but thankfully they came up with the 3 points.
And you must be delighted with your start now, joint top of the table, the only unbeaten team in the division, and you've had 4 really tough games.
Well, every game is tough in this league. There's no easy game, and you have to earn the right to win games. But it's early days. We have a very honest team, work really hard all the time, and they're really trying to, for the support around the city and county, bring out the numbers. And there's a bit of a buzz around the city and county. That's what we want, because Galway soccer has had very little cheerable for many years, and so if we can get a winning team here, the crowds will come, and that's what we look forward to.
So there you are, the lads delighted to be chatting with Gary after a win. Gary probably not so much delighted after the defeat to his lovely Treaty United. Just to finish on the Premier Division then, Pats lead at the top with 12 points. Now they have played 6 games. The teams underneath them have played 5. Derry and Sligo have a game in hand on them, and they're only a point behind. Shamrock Rovers have played 6, and they are 2 points off. So Shamrock Rovers want to be careful that they don't start slipping, because if Sligo or Derry start getting a couple of wins together and Rovers don't, before you know it, they're playing catch up properly then after that. Dundalk, Bows, Shells, Drogheda, Finn Harps and UCD. No real surprises in the table there otherwise, I don't think. So I think we'll leave it there. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We've provided interviews and we've provided everything else. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and if there's anything we can improve on, let us know in the comments as well. Please don't forget to like the video, don't forget to subscribe, and if you're listening on the podcast, give it a share, give it a follow, give it a rating, and we'll speak to you all soon. Thanks for watching.